Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Tuesday, the 5th of January.
Good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Ivan Magwene.
And me, Yvette Chimbusho.
Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. But first, we start with, of course, Yvette. What do you have for us in business?
Well, as the youth, we're actually urged to create our own jobs. And that's something that took place in Goma district, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that.
All right. Sherry?
In the world of lifestyle, we're going to look at buying quality and not quantity. Yeah.
All right, Moses, sports is booming up. We need to have some news there.
The new year is kicking off, and in Ferwasi, the sports that has that actually has taken place in Rwanda as the emblem of the country, cyclism. They are kicking off the year. They are starting their preparations. I will tell you more in details on how they are doing it.
I can't wait to hear more of that. Well, all that and more still to come. But first, of course, it's our first Rise and Shine story of the day. It is the awaited soccer bonanza. For the first time in the Sekafa region, Rwanda is hosting the eagerly awaited African Nations Championship, commonly known as CHAN. Rwanda says preparations for the game starting next week, the 16th, are in full swing. Today we discover and analyze how prepared we are. But first, let's take a look at a report we compiled for you.
Preparations for the African Nations Championship CHAN next week are in full swing, and the rewards to ensure the tournament will be hosted in the Sekafa region for the first time is a success. For stadiums in different corners of the country where the matches will be played in the 3-week time have been massively rehabilitated and spiced up. These include the Amahoro National Stadium where the first opening and final game will be played. Other stadiums include Rwanda Stadium, Kuya Stadium, and Durum, Uganda. Stakeholders in organizing the competition in Rwanda district say the playgrounds, hotels are all ready to host the first ever anticipated tournament in the Sekafa region. Meanwhile, the CHAN 2016 local organizing committee has released the master ticket prices that still have been made affordable for all fans ahead of the tournament. As the countdown to the competition stays with just 11 days, Rwanda national team Amavubi goes on with preparations in Rwanda. Then Manchester's team will play 2 more friendly matches against Cameroon on Wednesday, and the DR Congo 4 days later at Rwanda Stadium. The tournament is scheduled to run from January 16th to February 7th, bringing altogether 16 teams. Ivan Magwene, Rise and Rwanda.
And joining us in studio to analyze more on the games and the preparations is our very own sports correspondent, Moses Virikunzira. Well, Moses, now the only reason why I wish to have you today for the analysis is because I'm pretty sure you're summing up, doing all the work that is required to make sure you bring the results on the table so soon and so in good style, I would say.
Absolutely, yes.
So tell us, how far is the whole general picture?
Actually, we've been talking with the federation, the FEDWAFA, which have the organization in their place, and the local organizing committee chaired by Vincent de Gaulle have been sharing us on how is it the Rwanda is prepared. A couple of stadiums, they have some issues with the lights. because actually the lights are in place, but they are yet to be standing, and so they are yet to be actually operating properly. But they are actually in final phases, and all pitches are ready, and training pitches are already in Nyamirambo. There is one at Amahoro Stadium, there is one at Umuganda Stadium, and all the pitches are all ready. And the teams, actually, the team itself is also prepared. But we go back to the hotel, the reception, actually the hospitality,
yes.
Because we need Rwanda. Rwanda is always known as the most hospitable country. Actually, when we talk about Africa, some hotels in Rubavu, that's where we went. We took place there at Rubavu to see actually how are they prepared. There are hotels, there are Serena Hotel, there are Steep Hotels, and a couple of other hotels that are there. In Steep, in particular, they say that they have a little problem with the language barrier, because in Rwanda most of people don't speak English, and in Rubavu they are going to be Zimbabwe, they are going to be Mali, Uganda, and Zambia. So most of them are English speaking countries.
So we advise them to hire at least translators.
Actually, that's what they told us. No, they don't want translators, but they need staffs that actually speak and understand English, and that's what they've been working.
Those
hard.
are jobs you just advertise for people out there.
They did, and they have enough employees who are actually speaking the language. And the other problem was the electricity. We used to have a couple of problems with the electricity in Rwanda recently, the electricity coming in and going, but now they have equipped generators to supply electricity in case that the electricity goes off. And another problem was the internet, the wireless connection, because when you are there, you have the managers analyze games on internet. They watch games, they analyze after the games have been broadcasted, they get picture images, and they analyze the game for the next opponent. So internet is actually a must, and only Serena Hotels has a full-time internet connectivity, but actually they are working hard with the internet companies in Rwanda to give them wireless connection that is full-time, that doesn't get cut off. And
yes.
They are working hard, and actually they ensured us that the internet is going to be on full swing with no problems.
Now for me, exactly my main focus is, of course, on the pitches. As you just said, a few weeks from now, at least 11 days from now, we are hosting the first ever, mind you, first ever biggest competition, I would say, in the Sekafa region.
Absolutely.
And now you would say, it's a worry for me that the lights have not yet been put up, and we do not want to see any kind of mess up. These are very important equipment on the pitch. Would we say that we are prepared, we are fully prepared on the pitches to make sure that everything goes perfectly well, or there's some issues that you think we're still facing and needs to be done as soon as possible?
Actually, for CAF to issue this tournament to Rwanda is because they knew very well that Rwanda is going to be ready by the time that the tournament gets in full swing. So we talked to the officials of Ferwafa, they said, and local organizing committee, which have the organization in their hands. They say that about 5 to 6 days before the actual tournament, everything will be done. And Amavubi is going to play at Rubavu Stadium against DRC on Wednesday, actually tomorrow.
Yes.
So we are going to see when they play, because they even wanted to have those games as preparation to see whether the rights can actually operate. So we are going to see whether after when the Amavubi plays, are the rights ready. And that is going to give us actually the actual picture. And they're playing, because they're playing on the 6th with the DRC Congo, and they're playing on 10th with the Cameroon. So we during those two games, we'll actually see whether Amavubi is ready as a team technically, and of course the organizers are ready doing on pitches, infrastructure, and of course the hospitality in general.
Yes, now leave alone the hospitality, I want to come to the main focus, the games. That's what people are looking for.
Absolutely.
It's the hottest thing for fans out there. But I want to bring it back to the home star boys, the Amavubi Stars. How prepared are they?
Recently on Christmas, we had Jimmy Mulisa in the studio telling us on what does he expect from the team. Yesterday we talked about Olivier Karekezi telling the Rwandan Amavubi Stars to actually showcase themselves onto the international stage, because this is an international tournament, and we are actually going to visit again the players and see how the morale is, talking with the captain Jean Tuyisenge, talking with John McKinsey, the coach, and the assistant coach. They actually have now 2 analyzers coaches in 2 technical in the team. They have one of them has been working with Opta. He's one of the leading app in the world that analyzes games, and they analyze tackles, they analyze how the passes has been, who give a pass to a player, did the pass got completed, how every aspect of every analysis that can happen during the game. So he worked with that company for more than 10 years, and so he has that experience. So it's actually Rwanda is the only team that has that technician who can analyze game deeply than any other team. So we have that advantage, and there are two guys. So it's going to help the team. It boosted the morale because John McKinsey had that responsibility himself. And so with those two directors on board, I'm pretty sure that technically Rwanda is going to be more equipped than other teams, and that's actually why they brought them in. And again, on playing style, Rwanda actually is trying. McKinsey said himself that Rwanda, in terms of playing style, only Ivory Coast they're a bit powerful. But technically, Rwanda is better than all of them. So we are seeing Rwanda being able to challenge all these boys, get out of group stages, and of course, go all the way to the final. Because as a hosting nation in Africa, we are entitled to be all the way to the final.
Now, of course, quite a package. As I was reading out there, at least the first team is getting around $750 as their prize, and and the runners-up are getting $400,000 Quite a package for them out there for the boys. But I would like to bring it now to the fans. I want to know how has at least the organizing body been working with the fans to make sure, because this is a very important tournament, and we don't want to see stadiums that are empty. What has been done to make sure that people come to the stadium? Has it been enough awareness? Do you think enough has been done to make sure that the CHAN is out there? People understand what's CHAN. People understand how big CHAN is, because at the end of the day, organizing a tournament like this is quite expensive, and you need to bring in revenues. Has that been done yet? And do you think people will be able to attend the games?
That has been the main challenge for all of us in the media house, that we've been asking why we don't have many billboards talking about CHAN. Actually, the mascot of CHAN actually was released recently, a few days ago, and actually, that is where the weakness of the organizing committee they had. They didn't make enough communication.
Because honestly, if I move around town, it's rare for me to see a billboard at least saying anything about CHAN. Quite an advertisement. I think it's a very big worry for me. Yeah,
it has been a big worry, and actually they've ensured us that now they are putting a lot of effort for these last 2 weeks to make sure that everyone understand and hear that CHAN is coming up in Rwanda and teams are starting.
Now the world needs to understand CHAN is happening in Kigali.
Yeah, the world need to. But apart from Rwanda, locally, other countries people are aware of CHAN. But only Rwanda, the communication has been not good enough. But they are doing it right now. They're actually advertising hard. And but in Rubavu specifically, the mobilization has been in full swing. And the
Rubavians, I would say, are very good.
They wanted the DRC Congo to come there to Rubavu. Unfortunately, it is in Huye. So, but actually, because they have one game playing on 6th with Amavubi, so in Rubavu, the advert is there, the mobilization. Every Rwandan actually knows that CHAN is coming. In Kigali, most people know. But it's not everyone, of course. But actually, they're working hard to ensure that all Rwandans are aware of it. And most importantly, the tickets. That was the main focus. How much can I pay to enter on the stadium?
That was going to move into the next question. Can we afford the tickets?
Absolutely. Our very own sport minister and culture, Julien Watru, has announced the tickets on how much people need to pay. She said that the reason why they announced tickets earlier is because they want to make sure that every Rwandan from every corner in the country can access to go to the stadium. And the VVIP, actually the most expensive ticket on this CHAN, will be 10,000 on both Amahoro, Nyamirambo Stadium and Omaganda Stadium. At Huye it will be 5,000 VVIP. VIP now it will be 5,000 on Amahoro Stadium, Nyamirambo and Huye, and then and Omaganda, but Huye it will be 2,000. And now Euro seats is going to be 2,000 in the 3 stadium and 1,000 at Huye. And then no other normal seats. Everywhere it's going to be 500 everywhere.
Quite an amount to pay. It's just a fair amount. I think this is a very fair amount.
There's no excuse to any Rwandan to say, I haven't been at the stadium.
No, well, Moses, I'm pretty sure we have to wrap it up from there. But a lot of drama is coming up as we start the
and we are going to make sure that we visit the teams, we visit the coaches, they tell us tactically, technically, and how the preparation are at the final stages. The team that's going to start coming up in the country to see how things are going. Because we need to be the image. We need to be the star. We need to light up the country, Rwanda, and the city of Kigali to show the world that we are able and ready.
All right, we are able. We wrap up from there. I think we're very able to do that. And there you have it from Moses, of course. Well, as for now, we advise every fan and every sports lover to come out during the CHAN and enjoy these games. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Business news is coming up next with our very own Yvette Shumbusho.
The things that make you look outside the window and sigh. The ones that make your dreamy eyes look up to the sky and smile. Forget the miles between and smile at the sky. Like it held something precious that belonged to you. Like this little secret that makes you hold everything you love. Let your passion guide you. You can be sure you will touch the sky.
Business stories making headlines today. The Rwanda Development Bank, RDB, has entered into a partnership with the Indian Merchants Chamber, IMC, to promote trade, tourism and investment in the country. Clarence Fernandez, the Rwanda Development Board representative in Mumbai, India, said that they're also working with the Travel Agents Federation of India, a member organization of the IMC, to bring investors from the tourism and hospitality industry to the annual Remarkable Rwanda Investment Summit in September. The function was organized in partnership with the IMC Navi Mumbai chapter. The youth have been urged to create more jobs to contribute to the country's sustainable development. Kizito Habimana, the Vice Principal of the Administration and Finance of Integrated Polytechnic Regional Institute of Goma District, made the call during the closure of one-month training of youth in job creation. The program, dubbed Make Them Job Creators, was attended by a number of students on long vacation from schools across the country. Habimana said that the new program would help trigger youth innovation and entrepreneurship as they move towards job creation. Investors in the region's mall business are struggling to boost their returns despite the fact that the sector is growing, with a number of new developments coming up. Retailers prefer prime space in capital cities and their suburbs, but as the latter get saturated, developers are finding it difficult to entice anchor tenants whom they rely on to buy space. According to retailers and sector advisory firms, Nairobi is headed for a saturation point, while Kampala, Dar es Salaam and Kigali are still in the early stages.
Now joining us in studio is our correspondent from Akile.net, Ange. Thank you so much, Ange, for joining us today.
Thank you too.
Yeah, just let's take a review at what we talked about last week and obviously what you have for us today.
Yeah, just a quick refresher. So we're discussing about the core values that are critical to hire top employees. And last time we talked about the first one, which is takes initiative. But I can just go through them and say, we have like takes initiative, problem solver, self-aware, collaborative, professional and respectful. So last time we talked about the first one. Today we're going to discuss about the second one, which is problem solver. So I can just simply define it. Problem solver means having the ability to find solutions to issues.
Yeah.
So it may sound straightforward, but that's one of the most complex intellectual functions, and it's really valuable in the workplace. And what I can also say about that is we can advise employers or hiring managers to really test about that skill, and also to job seekers to really try to demonstrate that they are really problem solvers. And we may have like different ways to test that skill, but so far we can just share with you like 2 different ones. So we may be asked during an interview like to give an example, a situational question when they have to show they are really problem solvers, when they found they met an issue at their workplace and how they come up with solutions and what was the result. So which means that they have to take you through all the steps, or just they can, as an employer, they can ask the job candidates to give them a set of problems and try to ask them to find solutions, of course, depending on the field. Whether if they're from finance, they may ask them to formulate budgets. If it's a customer service position, like to find how can they handle angry customers, you know, stuff like that. That's really show people really who are problem solvers. And I can maybe share with you like a favorite question. Just read down, like we can sometimes identify a small problem and fix it before it becomes a major problem. So give an example of how you have done this and how did you arrive at the solution. That may be a specific question, and depending, of course, on the field, you may have different response to that question. Like someone may say, for instance, I'm gonna just share with you. Like,
you can just go ahead from the notes,
you know, when I worked as an associate at a retail store, the store would wait until the shelves were empty to restock them. Sometimes 1 or 2 days would pass with empty shelves. I suggested to my manager that we implement a change in procedure. We could keep boxes of the product on the top shelves, out of sight, of course, from customers, and refill the shelves as products started running out. As a result, we were able to sell more products, and customers were happier.
And you don't have any that will go to waste.
Exactly, which means that even though you are not chasing your customers, which means whenever they are coming your store, they find always their product they are looking for. You know, you have always the product with you. And we can also turn to job seekers right now.
You know, just talk about that.
Yes, we have, like, we may suggest some steps, like 5. Approach they may adopt, like to show that really
they can be problem solvers.
Exactly, when they are looking for jobs. Let's start with the first one. They have first of all to identify a problem, which means that they have to understand what is the problem.
What even just how the institution is like before they identify the problem.
This is specific, for instance, when they have to show that they have that skill. It means that there is an issue, and then they have to show to the employers or to the interviewer that they are problem solvers, that they really have that skill. So, for instance, for them, they have to think, for instance, they meet any issue. They have to show that, first of all, they have to look, they understand the problem. They may even write it down, so for them to clarify what the problem is. And then they may list possible solutions. This is the time to brainstorm, you know, to do some brainstorming, and then to come up with some creativity. And after that, they have like a list of possible solutions. And then after that, they have to evaluate their solutions. It's when they have to do like some negatives and positives. What's going to work for them, what are going to lose if they have to apply this or that. And after that, they select a solution. After evaluating them, then they have to select a good one, a strongest one. It doesn't mean that they have to choose only one. They may have like a bundle of solutions for a better solution to the problem. So, and lastly, they put it into action. They have to come up with a work plan. What are going to do? How are they going to do that? So from all those steps, I can just go through them again. Like, first of all, identify the problem, list of possible solutions, evaluate your solutions, select a strongest one, and put it into action. Above all, keep a positive attitude.
Yes, thank you so much, Ange, for that. And because of time, I hope our viewers have taken note of that. And so we'll just wrap it up from here. But do not go away. Sports news coming up next with Moses Virikunzira.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine in Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I am Moses Vilukunzira. Starting with local cycling, Rwanda cycling team in early preparation ahead of tough 2016 season. Rwanda Cycling Federation Ferwasi has sounded an early warning bell that the 8th edition of Tour du Rwanda will be tougher for national team. The Federation President Aimable Bayingana made remarks after announcing the 2016 dates for the international event. On Friday, Bayingana said, and I quote, "It will be tougher, especially for Team du Rwanda. Two of our top cyclists, Nyimana Jean Bosco and Hadi Janvier, will be riding for Bike Aid. We have to start preparing their replacements and also groom upcoming talents. I am convinced our riders will do well even without the sensation duo." The federation has set November 13 and 20th as new dates for 2016 edition of Tour du Rwanda. Team Rwanda skipper Hadi Janvier road racing finished the 2015 season ranked 9th in Africa to book a ticket for this year's Olympic Games, slated for August 6th to 21st in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And the follow-up on CHAN 2016. Nigeria assistant coach Yusuf a bit on CHAN glory. Super Eagles assistant coach Yusuf Salisu has expressed deep confidence in the quality of players in his fall to deliver the goods at the upcoming African Nation Championship CHAN in Rwanda. The team headed off to Pretoria, South Africa on Saturday to commence final phase of preparations for the biennial football championship. The CHAN Eagles will engage their counterparts from Angola and Ivory Coast in a test match prior to the group game opener against Niger on January 18th. Yusuf told Supersport, and I quote, "Of course, we are confident heading off to South Africa and route to Rwanda for the African Nation Championship. South Africa will actually serve as our last bus stop in terms of preparations for the championship, where we have confirmed 2 build-ups matches against Angola and Ivory Coast on 6th and 11th respectively. Nigeria are in Group C alongside Tunisia, Niger and Guinea." And finally, in European football, Chelsea earned their first win under Gus Hiddink on Sunday. Chelsea secured their first victory in Gus Hiddink's second spell as boss to move 6 points clear of relegation with deserved 3-0 win at Crystal Palace on Sunday. Oscar put the Blues ahead against the run of play, tapping home after being put through by Diego Costa. Once they scored, Chelsea dominated as Willian and Diego Costa scored second and third respectively to end the game with a 3-0 win. Tottenham cemented their place in Premier League's top 4 but had to be satisfied with a point after they were held to 1-1 draw at Everton. Elsewhere, Gary Neville's Valencia battled to a dramatic La Liga draw with Real Madrid, who ended up with 10 men after the game beyond his 6-month contract, and he said he claimed that he did not see himself in the management long-term had been misunderstood.
Now, Moses, of course, last year it was a very successful season for Team Rwanda.
Yes.
in the Tour du Rwanda. A lot has been done by Ferwasi to make sure that the upcoming talent is put to use. And I'm pretty sure, as the head of Ferwasi said, this year is not going to be simple, especially after Hadi joining Team Bike Aid.
Now, and Jean Bosco also.
Jean Bosco.
Also, Varens went to South Africa. There's this former Team Kobeka, M10 Team Kobeka. He's also in South Africa, and you know, and even Tunimana is also in South Africa. So now it means Rwanda, the 4 stars that were actually in front than others, including the captain, the vice captain, and all others. Now they are away. They are no longer going to compete for Team Rwanda, which means now that Ferwasi has a big challenge to groom up another 4 talents to come to the level.
I would say.
Yeah, not only 4, but others are still there.
Yes.
Others' experience are there. But now they need to bring up another players to come up and compete. But you know, we have Rwanda Cycling Cup, which is going to which goes all around Rwanda. They have 11 races, and now the good news is now they extended it to Rusizi, which means now fans in Rusizi will be able to experience this beautiful game that has taken the heart of Rwandans.
So the game has gone across the forest, as normally across that's the normal saying that when the force goes across the forest, then the tournament has grown big.
Yes, and the good news for all the Rwandans, especially the cycling department, and now had Janvier booked a ticket to go to Rio de Janeiro in Olympic Games. It's a great news, and it's very fantastic. And he went in. They went in Morocco. They had like 4 races, and they were looking for. He was looking for a ticket. When he headed to Morocco, he was 10th in African ranking. He ended up being 9th overall in 2015 season. So it's very good news for him. Unfortunately, Jean Bosco missed out, but it's very good. It's very good that we have someone representing us in Rio de Janeiro games. And again. They are going to fight hard to find people to come up and impress them, but they are good at that. They are good at that. They always have targets, and they knew when these players went abroad to be professionals, they had a plan of who can step up.
And I hope the more work needs to be done at the Rwanda Cycling Home in Musanze to make sure that booming talent is put to it. But I'll move on, of course, to the Premier League. And at this point, I'm thinking, was the problem of Chelsea Mourinho, or Chelsea's problem was maybe, I don't know, from any other grassroots? First win in 2016, what a year to start up for the Blues. What was your only general view of the game, and what is your only general view as Chelsea starts this season? As Chelsea starts this year?
Basically, for Chelsea, the whole we're always asking ourselves, was the players betraying Mourinho, as he mentioned himself? Or did they betray him? But according to...
At least with the last 2 games...
for the last 2 games,
they're proving something that we didn't actually expect.
Yeah, not only the last 3 games, actually the last 4 games. After they played after they played Sunderland, they won 3-1. After exactly the next game after Mourinho left, they played Norwich. They drew 2-2. Actually, the goals were coming, and they played Manchester United. They drew 0-0. But the game was actually entertaining, and they played very well. And now the last game they played on Sunday when they beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace beat Chelsea at home at Stamford Bridge when they came at Stamford Bridge earlier in the year. And this time around, beating Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park, it's a hard stadium to beat Crystal Palace. Wasn't easy. As Aaron Padre mentioned, he said that Fabregas was the main man that they could not touch. Because, imagine Fabregas, who was always booed that he's not performing at all. And he was the man whom Padu singled out, that he was the player that dictated the tempo, the whole game. And if you can see the game, the first goal actually that Chelsea scored of the goal of Oscar, Diego Costa was put through by a through ball pass from Fabregas. And Costa brought the ball back in the penalty area for Oscar to finish up. And Willian and, Fabregas, Willian, Oscar, Diego Costa, and of course, Mikel. Mikel dictated the tempo you can't imagine.
Yes.
And now it shows that Chelsea are much more ready to bring back the season, to bring back the smell on Chelsea fans. It's going to be tough to be in top 4, though, but now they're 6 points ahead of relegation zone. When Mourinho left, they were only 1 point ahead of relegation zone. So 5 points increase in the 3 games. It's not bad. And they are going to play and continue, because Gusiding said Diego Costa came back in his prime because he has scored 4 goals in the last 3 games. He participated in all 3 goals on Sunday. So it means that Chelsea is actually coming back.
Chelsea's coming back. There you heard it from Moses. Could this be the turning moment for Chelsea? Yet, we're yet to see what happens with the season. Well, that's all we had from sports, international and local news coming up next.
The things that make you look outside the window and sigh. The ones that make your dreamy eyes look up to the sky and smile. Forget the miles between and smile at the sky. Like it held something precious that belonged to you. Like this little secret that makes you hold everything you love. Let your passion guide you. You can be sure you will touch the sky.
Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
The Rwanda Bar Association has held the new system of integrated electronic management of court cases as time-saving and expected to reduce delays and transaction costs associated with judicial cases. The Ministry of Justice, in conjunction with the Justice Law and Order sector, introduced the system effective January 1st. Announcing the development, Johnston Businje, the Minister for Justice, said the initiative marks the achievement of Goal 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals, which calls for building effective, accountable and inclusive institutions while providing access to justice for all.
Legislators have dismissed reports that budget constraints impede the fight against malaria in the country, citing laxity in implementation of the prevention programs as the major cause. Members of the Rwanda Parliamentarians Network on Population and Development made the remarks while evaluating health and education sector issues.
And in regional news, early results from the Central African Republic's presidential election show ex-Prime Minister Faustin Archange Touadera taking a surprise lead. 30 candidates contested the poll, which is likely to go to a runoff between the top two on 31st January. Mr. Touadera was not seen as a favorite. He was Prime Minister in the government of ex-President François Bozizé, ousted in 2013 by mainly Muslim Seleka rebels. Voting took place on 30th December with UN troops guarding polling stations. 30 candidates vied to replace interim leader Catherine Simba Panza in the former French colony.
And in international news, Sweden has introduced identity checks for travelers from Denmark in the attempt to reduce the number of migrants arriving in the country. All travelers waiting to cross the Öresund bridge by train or bus or use ferry services will actually be refused entry without the necessary documents. Railway commuters heading to Sweden will now have to change trains at Copenhagen Airport and go through ID checkpoints. Sweden received more than 150,000 asylum applications in 2015.
You know, right, just as I said, it's, the migration crisis is still going on 2016, so I don't know, we might be seeing a lot of, policies being taken. But oh well, we have to move on, of course, to our very own hot topics with Sherry. We take a look at what's happening in lifestyle and what's hot right now in our daily debate section. Hot topics, of course, with the Sherry. We'll be right back.
Now, sorry for the gents, this might come off somewhat irrelevant, but nevertheless you need to hear this. Now, on to the ladies. A media personality in East Africa, precisely in Kenya, Caroline Mutoko, talks about ladies buying quality and not quantity. Definitely a must-watch to you all young ladies out there. Before my co-host Yvette joins me in for the discussion, let's take a look first.
I want to call this one Where Did My Money Go? And this one is just for the girls, and specifically if you're under 30. Stop buying rubbish. I wish somebody had told me this when I was 25. One of the things a lot of people don't understand about me is that I have 3 watches and I wear this one all the time. Look at all my YouTube videos. I have a certain set of jewelry and I think I probably own 4 or 5 pairs of earrings. I also have 1 handbag. I have 1 regular handbag and I have 3 clutches, and that's it. Now, the reason I'm saying stop buying rubbish is that for most of your life in your 20s, you own junk. You've got 22 handbags, people think you actually sell them. You've got 1 too many pairs of shoes. You've got, I don't know how many watches, rubbish earrings, da-da-da-da-da. No, stop. Why do I have one handbag? Because I learned about 10 years ago to buy one statement handbag, a good one, and I carry it for 2.5 years to 3 years. When it falls apart or my girlfriends get tired of it and they steal it from me, yes, I buy another one. Actually, on my last trip out of the US, I went without a handbag because I knew I was buying a handbag. I was coming back with that. And that's it. I've carried that handbag now for 1.5 years. And I will continue to carry it. I have 2 clutches, a gold one and a black one. Because the black one is like really, really neutral, it can be replaced with anything else. Same goes for my jewelry. If you buy good things, and this is why I'm saying don't buy junk. If you buy good things, you don't have to have many of them. The reason you have a lot of things is that they are rubbish. Stop buying rubbish. If you actually start sticking to certain items that are signature and fantastic, you will not be sitting there wondering where did your money go. And also, as you get older, you begin to realize that out of all the decisions you have to make in the morning, which earrings you wear is not one of them. And I've always said this, as I became an executive, I became a mother, I had to pare down decisions. And part of what I'm doing in the morning is not deciding which watch. Everything for me is laid out in one place, I put it on, back again. I'm sure when you look through my YouTube videos, you're like, ish, Anna Saingine, I've got this one. I've got 2 others, but this is the standard, Monday to Friday. Pare down decisions. I've got too many decisions to make every single day that earrings, watches, handbags, and then you switch things and you switch handbags and you leave something in another handbag. I don't have that problem. And my handbag goes with me everywhere, through airports. It also has, when Duko was younger, a diaper there. It works. But as a woman, start thinking quality, not quantity. And I wish somebody had told me this before I hit my 30th birthday. I'd have saved so much money. There's a lot of junk in your life. And when you think about all the handbags you have, because I tell people, I will spend $400 on a good handbag. They're like, oh, no. If I came to your wardrobe and I counted the value of the 300 handbags you have that you do not carry, you probably have $400 worth of handbags in there. Buy one good one and get on with it. My biggest saving tip for you is buy quality, be done with it, save the rest of your money. Okay? And talk to Chase Bank about it.
Quality instead of quantity.
Quality instead of quantity.
Okay, just explain to us exactly what that
Well, what
entails.
she was talking about, Mrs. Mutoko, she was saying
I think
that
it's
you
Miss
need to...
Mutoko.
It's Miss? She's not
I
married?
think it's Miss Mutoko.
Okay.
Because her sister also had the same name.
Okay.
I think.
Miss Mutoko. Anyway,
Sorry if you
Caroline.
don't get it right.
Yes. Anyway, so she was saying that you'd rather buy like 3, this is for the ladies, the way ladies can buy handbags and shoes and all these things, and you have like 30 pairs or 30 bags, and then it looks like you're selling
Guilty.
them.
Yes.
Yeah. But now you'd rather buy 3 that are of really good quality, so you can use them for the next 5 years.
Yes.
Than just buying cheap stuff that's going to wear out in a month.
I definitely agree with her. I feel like once you have a really good bag, and though it's very, very expensive, from the video we realized that she told us that she buys a bag for like $400. I'm thinking, oh my goodness. But she said, yes, it might be worth $400. But if you check out all those bags, the 30 bags that you have, it might reach probably 200 or something, and you could have probably bought a better bag with it. And you only have one, and it will last you a much longer time than those little other cheaper bags.
Yeah, although I'm also of a different opinion. Sometimes people just like to have variety.
Yes.
And if you can get it at a cheaper price. Sometimes I would want to wear this and not wear it again.
Exactly.
Or just wear it like
after a few months.
I don't want to keep on carrying the same thing. It gets boring for some people. And even for myself, I don't like having one thing. It gets boring. I feel like, I need a change.
Exactly.
But for some people, it can actually work. If you can have, she was saying she has 3 watches. The one that she wears all the time for like Monday to Friday. And then she'll have others, 2 more, that she'll wear depending on where she's going to.
Exactly. Well, I do agree with you at some point. I mean, you do want variety. You don't want to have just one black bag. She said that she only has 2 clutches.
2 clutches, a gold one and a black one.
Black one. Well, sometimes, what if you're wearing like pink and
black
and you want to put a bit of white in it or a bit of maroon or something? It doesn't really hurt to have a variety, but I think it does hurt when you have a bit too too much, and your room literally looks like a retail shop, just a messy one.
Yeah. So that's our opinion. It's probably going to help somebody, but I think it makes so much sense.
It does.
To buy something that can last for
Of
a
good
long
quality.
time. Yeah, of
it
good
really
quality.
does.
And it's very good for young
I feel
ladies
sorry
out
for
here.
all those second-hand retailers.
They're going to
They'll be
run.
out-
We don't
they'll
want
be
to
out
make
of
them
store.
run out of business.
Unfortunately, they just might.
Hopefully they won't run out of business. Anyway, let's take a look at hot topics right after the break. Welcome back, and it's that hot topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine Rwanda team, we have been up and about, gathering everything that you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from the debates trending on Twitter to the ones you have in your local cafe. We've got it all for you right here, right now. Now, religion is a very big part of society, and fortunately, it is taking the wrong turn, whereby you find many people hiding behind religion to go to the extremes of negativity. For instance, we could talk about extremists in the Islam religion. I'm sure we've had different incidences where this has been applied, like in Kenya, the Garissa attacks, or in Nigeria, where Christian churches were being burnt, and really so many others that you know. But today in particular, I want us to discuss Christianity and how it's taking a wrong turn. Also, I'm certain you've definitely had incidences where pastors, bishops, and all these people who have uphold titles, they try to hide behind Christianity to explode the society. But right before I open the discussion here for all of us, first let's take a look at this animated clip.
Well, Pastor, it's an honor to have you here with us for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
Would you mind blessing the food for us?
Sure, that'll be no problem at all. Everyone close your eyes, please. Most gracious Lord, we just want to come before you today to say thank you. Thank you, Lord, for the birds, for the bumblebees. Thank you for the road, Lord. Thank you for the leaves on the tree, Lord. Thank you for the bowel movement I was able to have last night, Lord. I just want to thank you for the shoes on my feet, Lord. I know you're able. We bind any spirit of hunger right now. We cast you out, hunger, right now. Yes, Lord, yes. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Neighbor?
I'm not hungry no more.
I'm not hungry no more.
Right now, Father. Somebody get me some olive oil or some Crisco oil or something. And now, Lord, we ask that you bless the hands that prepared this food and let it be nourishing for our bodies. In your name we pray. Amen.
Well, thank you, Pastor, for that inspirational prayer sermon. We're going to go ahead.
I believe I've forgotten to pray over the forks, the spoons, the knives, and the plates.
It's okay,
Let's bow
Pastor.
our
It's okay.
heads.
It's okay.
Lord, we come before you one more time.
I think even before we begin, it was quite funny.
Right?
Maybe because it was animated. I don't know, but I kind of found it funny.
And the voice behind it.
And the voice behind it.
Yeah. But most of the times you actually find pastors praying like that. I thank you, Lord. With all that. I don't know
They just push you
if it's spiritually driven.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's start with you, Moses. What's your view?
It's hard to know whether it's spiritually driven or personal driven, because some people do there's so many reasons people become pastors. Some of them are spiritually driven, some of them want to express they want to teach people the Lord of the gospel. Others are there because of their personal interest, and we've seen it. Other people express their belief in a wrong way, like we've seen Islam and some Christians that they don't really believe. If you don't believe Jesus, it means they can't even talk to you. And Muslims, if you don't believe in what they believe in, it means they don't even hold you as a person like they are. So and now in religion, in temples or in Islam, in mosques. So some people, when you go there, if you can take a chance to go and look what they do, sometimes you might be surprised, sometimes you might find they're doing the right thing. So this religion thing, sometimes we need to be careful on how we express our ideas, because we might shock some people, and some people might get us the wrong way. But I think sometimes it's not everything is right in Christianity or Islam.
No, definitely. I mean, Yeah, there are a lot of people that take it to the extreme. There are others that say they can heal, they have certain powers from God. I mean, the other day, I happened to be at the saloon, as you can tell, and I was watching this thing. This is the point where you guys just keep saying, you know, oh my gosh, yes, we can tell. Yeah,
right.
But
we'll save that
for later. And I was watching this I don't know, maybe it was a show, and this pastor drives into this huge hall and in the compound, and he drives into the compound in a Range Rover Sport. Maroon.
Very fancy car.
Very fancy. And then he's holding up a cross. And it has a sunroof, so he's actually standing on the sunroof, through the sunroof, and he's holding the cross. And people are just like worshipping this pastor. And he goes, and people who can't walk, all of a sudden they can walk. Others they're possessed, and all of a sudden they're cured, and those demons are out. I mean, come on, really. I don't mean to offend nobody at all, because I'm a very God-fearing person, but I feel some people do exploit the society and the fact that people really depend on religion and spirituality, and I feel it's very unfair.
Yeah,
like that man now.
Well, Sherry, one thing I would say is that of course, looking at the way society is with religion, I would say, for example, let's say 90% of Rwandans are Christians, right? And most of them do have a lot of respect for religion, for wherever they worship from. But one thing that keeps, of course, worrying me is how even the people that are supposed to lead them, the way they are shaped or what. I think it's a debate we need to have. It's a debate we need to have, because as the world grows, so does religion grow. And the way religion is supposed to grow is not supposed to grow in a way that it runs away from the fundamentals of the gospel, right?
Yeah, right.
So one thing I've seen is that most of the growth in religion sometimes is that people are losing focus, that they're more attentive with the worldly growth than the real fundamentals of the church, of the gospel. And this is my advice to the people. One thing that I've seen that has helped me, at least in my way of worshiping, in my way of understanding religion, is, first of all, if I was going to a certain church, I need to first of all understand the vision, the mission, and I need to understand how this church works. Because again, we don't have to be so emotional about religion that we're so blinded enough to be taken by these pastors, because once you're blinded, then they will take advantage of the society. So we need to actually question sometimes the pastors, and even the pastors need to come up with certain missions and give people clarity of where they're going, because at the end of the day, a church is an institution from God, and I think God works in an organized way.
Very organized way.
That's why He gave your mind free will. Think about what you're doing.
Exactly. So in one way or the other, the same way we govern, we cannot, of course, govern the church like we govern any other world institution, but we need to move on the fundamentals of the church, and fundamentals are clearly listed in the Bible. So I think for me, time has come. Of course, it's a crazy world these days.
It is very
crazy moments, things happening. But I think it's very important that pastors need to learn their lessons, and also the people that, the followers need to also learn certain things that they need to have to abide by the way the world works in terms of religion. And I think that's the number one thing we need to be sure about.
Yeah, just to wrap it up right there, I would like to say that usually a pastor is supposed to be a shepherd. That's the way the Bible explains it. It's supposed to be a shepherd. You're supposed to watch over the flock, which is God's people. Now, many people, and I'm not pointing fingers to anyone, but you'd find many pastors in different places, they hide behind religion and they mislead people. I remember there's one church that I attended, I won't mention where, and in that specific service, when it was time to give offering, I'm telling you, that pastor made you feel like if you're not giving, you probably have a problem.
Large amount?
Yeah, not even a large amount, anything. But it was like, you have to give, and don't give this amount if you know you can afford.
Exactly. So
they really pushed for
a certain amount.
Yeah, give a certain amount.
Yes.
And they pushed for, one thing that is so popular these days is the prosperity gospel, which is really misleading people. Now, as a Christian on my own, and any other person out there, I think what's important is to go and know your core values, so that even when someone tries to play this mind trick on you, it's really psychological. Like, they get into your minds and twist everything around.
That's why you have to have a very strong relationship, personal relationship with God, to the point that when you meet these people, you just know.
You can sense it. You can know.
Because trust me, they're very smart in the way they do their business.
Extremely.
So you have to be, spiritually smart.
It's a business. It's a business.
Your faith has to
on
be
top of that, Joyce Meyer gave people 30-30 challenge, which means spend 30 minutes, 30 days intimately with God. So the intimacy with God. So there you understand. Even when you go at church, you understand whether the pastor is saying the right thing, whether he has any other motive behind, because you have spent time with God, and God gives you a clear mind and wisdom that you can really understand what's going on.
Yeah. And the purpose we watched this video really was just to bring out, the way a prayer, a simple prayer for a meal can go the other way. I think we've been to places where people were supposed to pray for a meal, just a simple meal, breakfast, and someone is going to take their prayer to pray for the war in Iran or what's happening in Al-Shabaab in Somalia.
I mean, it's not such a crime to remember what is going around and be like, by the way, thank you for the food, and also we pray for all those that don't have food in Afghanistan and they're fighting the war, and now get into detail in the city with the people called.
May you bring them back to you. May they know you.
Pray for the food right here. We start eating.
Ivan, you're dying with something you wanted to say?
No, well, I think it's very important that people need to also remember that even prayer needs to be organized.
In everything.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll just wrap it up right there. We'll be back tomorrow with more hot topics. For now, do not go away. We'll be right back after the break.
Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports we do. Finally, find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your pictures. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website, www.riseandshinerwanda.com. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. Please let us know if you have any ideas for programs or any feedback. We're welcoming all kinds of feedback. But for now, you have been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Yvette Shimbusho.
And me, Ivan Magwene. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and this wonderful Rise and Shine team, have a very good day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.